Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video. I am a working woman married for 2 years, and I live with my husband, but life was never this peaceful because my nosy sister-in-law could not see people happy and content, so she is always up to some drama. Me, F31, and my husband, M32, have been together since college and got married 2 years ago. After getting married, I moved to my husband's house where we both lived with my father-in-law and sister-in-law, F27. From the very beginning, this duo wanted to take hold of everything, even our minor choices. My father-in-law would dictate what was going to be prepared for dinner, would throw a drama if anything went against his will, and his daughter was no less. My husband's mom died when he was very young, and his sister was a toddler. So he is very attached to his sister and could not say no to her. He has taken care of her like a parent and treats her like a princess, but she has grown into a queen, a wicked queen. When I shifted in with them, I was told the rules to be followed if I wanted to live in that house. You will not believe me, but me and my husband, were not allowed to eat outside as we all had to gather for dinner, and that was a rule. We could not go out for a drive or an outing alone as my father-in-law and sister-in-law would accompany us. They would take turns to sit on the passenger seat, but I was assigned to the back seat. Then, some other day, my sister-in-law would pretend to be sad and upset and sleep in our room, which was awkward as hell. I told my husband that it was not the way and she was not a kid anymore. I literally was suffocated in that house. I used to talk about the situation with my husband, and he would not attentively respond. I had no idea that his family was so toxic. Well, my husband was not ready to take any step, as he loved his family so much, and I was scared that if this situation was prolonged, I would have to step out of the marriage. But a miracle occurred, and my husband got transferred to the capital. He was also getting extra stipends, so it was an offer worth giving a go. I thanked God and left that hell with my husband to shift to the capital. We rented a house there and started our personal happy life. I was hired for an online job and life could not get any better. Even then, my sister-in-law did not stop interfering in our lives. She would call my husband for hours and hours and ask about every minor detail of the day. She would sometimes call late at night and pretend like she was sad and needed someone to talk to. Even being miles away, she was playing her role well. She would send a list of things and ask my husband to buy and parcel them for her. She is educated but not working. She takes pocket money from my father-in-law every month, but would still not choose to leave us alone. I tried to talk to my husband about this, but he replied that he was already away from her and could not say no to her. A couple of months passed, and our peace of mind was again at stake. My father-in-law called my husband and told him that my sister-in-law wanted to take admission in masters, and so she had to move to the capital and live with us. I was very worried because I came out of that hellhole with great difficulty, and now I could not let her ruin my home. I talked to my husband and told him that it was a big responsibility, and why didn't she just take admission in the local university? Also, the universities in the capital are very expensive. He talked to my father-in-law, and he said that she had this chance to study in the capital only because we were here, and why do we want to deprive her of this chance? My husband agreed, and in no time, that wicked queen was here. In no time at all, she took control of the whole house and started dictating directions. She said that she was the one who would look after the kitchen and decide what should be cooked. She kept on asking about every little detail and also used our bedroom whenever she was sad. Things were getting totally out of hand, and now I had to speak for myself. So yesterday, I confronted her and told her that she did not belong here and has to leave ASAP. She acted shocked and asked what she had done. I told her that she could not stay here as this was my house, and if she wanted to study in the capital, she can arrange a hostel room for herself. She started crying and said that she will tell everything to my husband. When my husband arrived, she told everything and that too, with added spices. My husband got furious and asked what I meant by that. I explained everything and told her that she had to go or I'll leave the house. My sister-in-law fainted and my husband had to take her to the hospital. We have not talked since yesterday. My sister-in-law called my father-in-law and delivered every detail while portraying me as a wicked one. I expected all these consequences and was ready to face them. My father-in-law argued with my husband and asked him to teach me some manners. My husband talked to me and I told him that the matter was non-negotiable and he had to choose between me or his sister. I explained every reason and told him that if he did not decide on anything, I will have to walk out of this marriage. He says that his sister is his responsibility and she has always looked at him as her superhero, so he could not simply kick her out. I told him that he can arrange a hostel room for her and maybe help her from time to time, but letting her stay here was impossible and could not be accepted. My father-in-law asked why his daughter would live anywhere else when her brother was living in the city. This whole drama has got on my nerves, and I cannot take any more of this. I am stubborn with my decision and would not bow down. This monarchy of my father-in-law and sister-in-law has to end. How can they control someone to that extent? And my husband is also obliged to say yes to their every nonsense, but I am not. I am an independent woman and can easily move out, so my husband has a sufficient amount of pressure from my side. Let's see what happens. On the other hand, my sister-in-law is trying everything she can to stay here. She told my brother that she has never lived alone and has no experience dealing with daily life by herself. She has cried several times and tried to manipulate my husband. I'll keep you guys updated. So, my father-in-law arrived here and created a whole new drama. He threatened my husband that if my sister-in-law had to move out, my husband will not be able to keep in contact with his family because they will disown them. I was very worried as I knew my husband would choose his family and I will have to take a bold step. But to my surprise, my husband got furious and told his family that there was nothing wrong with us claiming our privacy and personal space, as we were working hard for it and deserved it well. He also told them that my sister-in-law was living rent-free and still could not mind her boundaries, so she had to go arrange a place for herself. My husband told his dad that it will not be difficult to adjust to a hostel, as most of the students live in hostels, and not everyone has a family to move in with in such big cities. My sister-in-law acted sick for the next 2 days, but my husband refused her and did not let her sleep in our bedroom. I was so glad that at last my husband took action and was thinking both ways. Soon, my husband applied for a hostel room, found a suitable one, and booked it. My sister-in-law cried crocodile tears and vented while she was leaving with her luggage. My father-in-law returned, but was not at all happy. My husband told my sister-in-law that she could visit on weekends, to which she replied that she did not want to see our faces even. Not the a-hole. The OP should have taken a stand a long time ago, so that things would not have reached this level. She could not even have private time with her husband. I can understand how her communication with her husband would have been affected, as her in-laws were always around them and tried to control every minute. She should not have been obeying like that, and she should have given a shut-up call at the very start. Just like her in-laws, she should also have been introducing rules and regulations, drawing out boundaries. It was so painful that she was not even able to go out with her husband until she was at her father-in-law's house. She could not even eat whatever she wanted to and never even sat beside him in the car. It feels like her married life started after she moved out. She only started to live her life when her sister-in-law invaded again and could not be stopped. I am glad that her husband at last took a stand and put everyone in their place. Also, OP's in-laws sucked to the next level and could not be accepted at any cost. I hope she lives an easy life now. Not the a-hole. I am proud of OP, as she took a stand for herself when not even her husband was ready to listen to her. She single-handedly took charge of the situation and kicked that wicked queen out. But I do not know why she seemed a bit too strict with her in-laws. I understand that she was pissed and done with the situation, but she still could have handled the situation being a bit less harsh. She told her sister-in-law immediately to leave, in her face, but she could have convinced her husband first and allowed him to talk to his sister. She was also very disrespectful towards her father-in-law. Understandably, he was used to invading their privacy from the start, but still, he deserved respect as he was her husband's dad. He specially arrived at their house to talk about the things and sort them out, but the couple was not ready to listen to that old man. Whatever the situation was, the father-in-law should have been respected. I also feel bad for the husband, as he was very attached to his family and had to choose between his family and his wife. I wish the situation was easier for him and he was not forced to settle things like that. But it's also very clear that the situation would not have been decided if the husband did not play his part. Next story. My friend recently had a baby. We are in our mid-20s, so we're still very much the type to go out and have fun at bars, parties, nightclubs, and travel to new places. You name it. But she got pregnant last year and had a baby, so we haven't been able to do much of that for obvious reasons. I've always supported her, even planned her baby shower for her, and got her home ready for when she came back with her newborn. But recently, she came up to me and went off on me because I apparently do not accommodate her and her child. She went on to say that she was upset because I'm always doing stuff without her knowing she has a baby. She brought up the fact that after her baby shower, a few of us went out to a local bar we always go to, and she couldn't because she was pregnant and they smoked inside that bar. I asked her what the issue was because I had spent the entire day making sure she didn't lift a finger for her baby shower, and my friends wanted to treat me to some drinks after all the hard work I did. It was after we had cleaned up for her baby shower, and she was even complaining about how tired she was. She then said that I always want to go out to places that aren't child-friendly, and that wasn't fair to her because she deserves to hang out with her friends too, but she actually does hang out with us all the time. Every few weeks, our friend group does a barbecue where she can bring the baby around us and hang out with us. We even visit her on separate occasions just to spend time with her or invite her out to lunch. A few weeks ago, we all went to an adults-only casino cruise and she was super upset that she couldn't go and kept asking why we couldn't go to a place like a family resort where she could bring her kid. We are all heavy drinkers when we party. When we want to party, we really, really party. And there's no place to bring a 6-month-old baby, no matter where we end up going. We just want to have fun and not worry that little Billy has to have a diaper change and the music is too loud or vulgar. She got very upset that a few of us went to a new bar they opened up in our downtown district after work, and she couldn't make it because of the baby. We did invite her in case she could spare a few hours, but that didn't happen. She said that we were purposely excluding her. She even said that we were purposefully excluding her. To that, I simply replied, "I'm sorry you're feeling that way, but we're a bunch of single 20-something-year-old people working 10 hours a day, 40 to 70 hours a week, and wanted to have a drink or two. We didn't choose to have a kid with you, and therefore we don't have to always worry about accommodating you. You had a baby, and life changed for you. I have no issue making more time for you, but I'm not going to stop going to some of my favorite places with some of my favorite people whenever I want to, and because you have other responsibilities now." She got very, very angry and hung up on me. So I want to know if I'm the a-hole for not always accommodating my friend. Not the a-hole. She had the kid, and having kids comes with adult responsibilities and giving up the party life in this stage of her child's life. You said you've all been accommodating and do invite her to child-friendly things, which is a compromise. It's not fair or reasonable for you all to drop your fun time plans because she became a parent. Jesus Christ, if she wants to go that badly, she can get a sitter. I'm a mom to a 3-year-old and I would never behave like this. Being a mom means you can't go to absolutely everything, and it also means that you can't force your friends to stop having fun because you had a kid. That's ridiculous. Not the a-hole. Next story. My 31F, dear brother, 26M, decided to propose to his girlfriend a few weeks ago. We went ring shopping together, and he picked a ring he thought she'd like. After all, we picked a classic piece, and you can never go wrong with a classic piece. He proposed, and all was well. That was until I saw them again 2 days ago, after their proposal, and I noticed my brother's fiancée had a different ring than the one we picked. I, of course, asked, and she shamelessly admitted that she didn't like the original ring, so they went and got it changed for another one that she liked better. I told her that's a really weird thing for her to do, and she should be happy and grateful. After all, the ring was a classic, so it could fit anyone's style. She said that she had previously sent pictures of what styles of rings she likes to my brother, and she's not into the classic pieces anyway. And she was disappointed about how my brother ignored her own taste and opinion and got something that she was clearly not into, and that after all of that, they agreed to go change the ring. I asked for the price of the new ring, and apparently it was the same price as the original one. But I doubt that. This ring looked way more expensive. And it was not even a classic diamond like the first one, but instead a huge emerald stone, which would not fit on many occasions. I told my brother that if I were him, I'd call off the engagement and have a serious talk with my partner, because what his fiancée did is unacceptable behavior. My brother said I'm being rude and how I should mind my own business because he's fine with his fiancée's choice of changing the ring. He also said that he's the one at fault for getting the other ring, so I better stop acting like an a-hole. I insisted that this is very rude and ungrateful for someone to do, and that she should be happy she at least got a proposal and a ring. My brother and his fiancée both got mad at me, and now think I'm an a-hole for implying such a thing. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. She didn't demand a pricier ring or say your brother didn't spend enough for her. That would be ungrateful. It's super common for people to want their future fiancés to see what rings they like in advance so they know what to get. You and your brother disregarded what your future sister-in-law wanted, and now you're upset because she doesn't agree with your choice for her ring. Imagine if you got engaged and someone gave you a ring with a big emerald in it, something you admittedly do not like. Would you not talk to your fiancé about exchanging it for something that speaks more to you? It's her ring, not yours. You're the a-hole. It sounds like you chose a ring you liked, and you're taking her disliking your favorite engagement ring personally. The first thing I would do if my brother asked me to go engagement ring shopping with him would be to ask, do you know what she likes? Has she ever said anything about an engagement ring or style? What's her favorite ring, and do you have a picture? I would not go out and advise my brother to get a ring I like for various reasons. Goes with whatever and has a stone I find appropriate. You're not going to wear the ring every day from now on, and this is not your relationship. You need to apologize.